Oh my God, this is a big game. This is a huge, huge, huge game. In fact, the entire run-in is huge for Manchester United now, and it's a huge and difficult period that we're going to have to try and get as many points as possible. United finishing inside the top four is far from a given. And this game against Aston Villa is a lot harder than people are thinking it's going to be. Aston Villa are flying at the moment. They were 15th when Emery took charge. At the moment, he's got them joint 5th. Technically, they're 6th. But they're only 6 points off Manchester United. A win puts them 3 points off Manchester United. And although we've got 2 games in hand on them, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous on Emery's part, and it's ridiculous that we've allowed this to happen. We've obviously faced each other twice already this season. They beat us 3-1 in Villa Park in the first game under Emery, and then we beat them 4-2 in the League Cup. Now, it's really interesting with Aston Villa because Emery started to tinker with the system, and he likes to play the 4-4-2, but he also plays the 4-2-3-1, and I've been trying to work out what the pattern is for this. So, at home, in a 4-2-3-1, won every game. And that's 6 out of 6. And they beat Fulham, Newcastle, in a big win, by the way, against Newcastle. Beat Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, and ourselves. They also tried a 4-2-3-1 under Steven Gerrard back in October, where they did beat Brentford. But under Emery, they got 5 and 5 wins. 6 wins in total all season. Away from home, in a 4-2-3-1, haven't won a game. Have not won a single game. In the 4-4-2, which is what they've sort of gone with the most, 6 wins, 2 losses on the road. And actually at home, a lot spottier. 3 losses, 1 draw, 2 wins. And it is the 4-4-2 that you will see the most out of Emery. He's played 4-4-2 14 times. And he has played 4-2-3-1 7 times. So, what formation do we think he's going to come to Old Trafford with? And I think you would have to suggest that the 4-4-2 has been the most successful thing for him on the road. They're a lot more consistent playing 4-4-2 on the road. And I feel like they're at their best when they play a 4-4-2. Interestingly, they played the 4-2-3-1 the most. The last 3 games has been a 4-2-3-1. But I think it'll be 4-4-2. Now, their main tactic is trying to attack quickly. They try and get the ball forward. They look like they're going to try and play fast counter-attacks. They invite the opposition to pressure them high. And then they can penetrate the box and try and get numbers into the box against as few a number of defenders as possible by trying to get the ball forward. Like forward is how they're going to go and try and do it. And they'll be looking to do that against a United defence which is missing its 2 first-choice centre-halves. And although I think Lindelof and Luke Shaw have been good lately, it still is an unfamiliar partnership, and it's a step down from Martinez and Varane. Villa like to progress the ball in the final third using the fullbacks and also the wingers, and they do favour going down the left-hand side. And often you'll see, if it's Buendia played in the 10, you'll often see Buendia or Watkins try and make runs forward, looking for that sort of quick option, either for a cross or something direct. The runs tend to create space in the box if they're looking for a switch in the cross, or they're looking to try and get something going towards the back post where maybe they're not seeing people coming in, a little bit more unsighted. And we saw how Spurs kind of targeted us in that sort of sense. And that worries me a little bit, thinking, look, there's a lot of confidence in Villa and there'll be 0 pressure on them after the way the season started. And I worry because when I look at this Aston Villa side and I look at their recent results, they've picked up clean sheets. They're hard to break down. City put 3 past them. Arsenal put 4 past them, in back-to-back weeks. Actually, Leicester just before that put 4 past them. But since then, Everton got shut out. All right, it's Everton. Chelsea got shut out. All right, it's Chelsea. Leicester managed to sneak one before Villa got the win, but they kept Nottingham Forest as well. So multiple clean sheets in recent weeks. Something's going right with Emery. And he's somehow got the best out of Mings. And I think Mings is shite. So he's getting something out of Mings. Mings and Konsa have provided like quite an aggressive partnership that seems to have been working for them. They're both putting in pretty solid performances. They try and press when they don't have the ball. They're quite aggressive with that. And they play everything that you kind of know Emery's going to play. Out of possession, they're going to be narrow, they're going to be compact, and the 4-4-2 suits that sort of mentality fantastically. It makes it very easy to know that you're in the right position, very easy to know that you're just going to block and move it around and see how it goes. And yeah, it's going to be a bloody rough game. Predicted 11, the following. I think Ashley Young plays, Cash is injured. And I think it'll probably be this. I expect it'll probably end up being if Bailey's fit. I'm not sure on the situation with Bailey. I think Bailey and Watkins in a 4-4-2, or if it's a 4-2-3-1, perhaps Buendia, Ramsey and McGinn behind Watkins. That's what I'm expecting. One of those two. Everything else should be fairly straightforward. Star man in this team, Ollie Watkins, 15 goals, 6 assists this season, and since Emery took over, he's had the second most goal involvements in the Premier League after Erling Haaland. He's flying, and he will be rubbing his hands together at the thought of trying to come up against Lindelof and Luke Shaw rather than Martinez and Varane. He's very dynamic. He plays the fox in the box role really well, and he's active. He gets involved with attacks. He's not someone that sort of just waits and waits and waits. He's quite aggressive in the final third, and he runs at his man. He finds space. He shoots quick. He's an handful. He's an absolute handful. For United, the way that last game against Spurs ended, really struggling to come up with what I think is the ideal side here, but the back five probably picks itself. I'd go unchanged with that. I think it has to be Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno. And I think it has to be Sancho, Antony, and Marcus Rashford. And the match winner for me, well, it has to be Marcus Rashford. And rather than him playing as a central kind of striker, I wouldn't mind seeing Sancho go and play a bit of a false nine sort of role, or rotate with Marcus regularly and confuse who's picking up Marcus, who's meant to be marking him. If Ashley Young is playing right back, I'd like Marcus to run at him because I don't think he's got the ability to be able to keep up with him, and I think he would switch off and you would get him behind him. And because Villa are so good defensively, the way you're going to score is probably someone that can create something almost out of nothing, or because they press from the front, that means that they've got to get their line high, which means that there's spacing behind them. Maybe another one of those beautiful passes that we saw from Bruno to find Marcus in space, get him behind and get a shot off. And that's got to be the main target. That's how you beat Villa. The first way we beat Villa is getting behind a high line. A high press equals a high line equals spacing behind. Martinez will come out and sweep, and he's an excellent shot stopper. So you're going to have a few chances, I think, before you put one away. And when you've got players like Bruno, Eriksen, Casemiro, they've got the ability to play top-level football and top-level passes to be able to stick things in behind and do it with a high degree of accuracy as well. With the likes of Sancho, Rashford, Antony, they've got to make off-the-ball runs, and they've got to look to try and get in behind them. You got to be quick when they lose possession. The likes of Bruno can transition it into attack really, really fast. And despite how well they've been playing, Konsa and Mings are 1,000% prone to a mistake, and I would be tempted to try and even draw fouls in and around the box because Konsa and Mings will try and smash you, and that's where there's a foul to be had. Maybe even Ashley Young as well. Run at him, see what happens. But that's it. There's my preview for today. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Get me your thoughts on the game, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.